The injuries look like those seen in people exposed to poisons like mustard gas.
That's how doctors are describing what they see in the lungs of vapors.
The chemicals can essentially burn your lungs. Find the truth at BehindTheHaze.com.
At Toyota's national sales event, we don't just help you get the perfect vehicle. We're here to open new doors that lead to your road to greatness. Your journey starts at Toyota's national sales event.
Toyota, let's go places.
At Valleywide Cooperative, we're here when you need us. For 100 years, we have been here to help you with food, fuel, and good old-fashioned advice. And for us, serving is more than a job, it's a way of life, which is why we pour so much into the communities around us. We've employed hundreds of your neighbors. We take pride in that, and in giving back millions in sponsorships, grants, donations, and scholarships. It's our way of saying thanks. We're Valleywide, and yesterday, today, and tomorrow, we're here for you.
I'm Corey. I'm a dairy nutritionist here in the Treasure Valley. I decided to get vaccinated because I wanted to do my part to protect myself and my family and my customers from COVID-19. As soon as the vaccines were readily available, I was vaccinated. I would encourage people to do the research, listen to the healthcare providers. When I went to get my COVID-19 vaccine, there was hardly any wait. It was an easy process, is readily available. Since I got vaccinated, I'm confident I'm protected against the COVID-19 virus. My life has returned to business as usual.
Ads like this keep popping up, but I see through the hype because those vape clouds people claim are just water vapor contain as many as 31 different chemicals, like formaldehyde, the stuff they preserve dead bodies with. And while the flavors sound all harmless, we still have no idea what these ingredients could be doing to our bodies. But I already see vaping for exactly what it is. Get the real facts at BehindTheHaze.com.
It's not a secret that finding a new car this year is a little tricky. Between chip shortages and supply problems, there's more reasons than ever to come to our no-problem dealerships when you need a new car or truck. Our acquisitions team works hard to make sure that we have a great selection of vehicles to choose from, and our easy-to-buy, easy-to-do business with sales team is ready to deliver the same great value price that we've had for nearly 20 years. Teton Toyota, where it's always no problem to buy and service your car.
Well, welcome here to Game 6 of the 2021 Rocky Mountain Rumble. The Alta Hawks taking on the Highland Rams. Alta jumping around out there, pretty excited and showing it over here to Highland. Highland not responding. And we'll see how this game's going to go. Highland struggled last year, Lance. Alta has been a pretty good team down there, a big school down there in Utah.
Well, for Alta, they were a perennial power in the state of Utah for a long time, but over the last several years, they've been kind of a 500 team. Of course, they got split when Corner Canyon came. Corner Canyon, of course, made famous by Zach Wilson, a first-round draft pick, and now the starting quarterback for the New York Jets. But it's kind of one of those scenarios where teams can go up and down. And anytime you split a school, you take some of those good athletes away, into the other school. And Alta certainly, felt the effects of that. Highland took a absolute bludgeoning in this tournament last year, or I shouldn't even call it a tournament, in the Rocky Mountain Rumble. Skyview High School out of Utah, who went undefeated and was their state champions 4A down there, just laid an absolute woodshed beating on them. And so Highland's going to look to get back and to rebound this year. Now, having said that, Skyview came up and played Rigby last night, and the same happened to them. So
Skyview got thumped.
Yeah, Rigby just trounced them. So underway.
Yep, opening kickoff out of the back of the end zone, and it'll be a touchback. And Highland will take over 1st and 10 at the 20, their first offensive possession of the season. This is an IdahoSports.com game stream production of East Idaho Game Night, presented by Teton Auto Group, also brought to you in part by your local Toyota dealer, Project Filter, and Valleywide Cooperative. Lauren Jensen alongside Lance Taylor here, Josh McGauley, C.J. Parkinson, all here with you to bring you the action here from Bobcat Stadium, Madison High School here in Rexburg, Idaho. A fantastic Saturday.
Could not be better for high school football, for any football.
Handoff goes around the end to Jackson Schumann, and Schumann picked up a good chunk of yards out there, about 8 on the carry.
Highland, a storied program, has a lot of state championships. Of course, Taysom Hill went down there, and his last loss in high school was actually to host Madison here, who's hosting this. That was his last loss his junior year, knocked out of the state playoffs. And then, of course, his senior year, he just ran a roughshod over everybody.
So 2nd and 2 here. We're just underway in the first quarter. Little dump off pass to number 2. He'll catch it and pick up the first down, it looks like, just across the 30.
So both these schools don the black and red as their main colors. Alta, you don't see a lot of red on theirs. The little hawk on the side of the helmet is, but their unis are white with black lettering and stripes. And yeah, the letter A.
I'll throw out into the flat from Jack Whitmer. And a first down on the carry by the receiver, Kevin Dahlstrom. Now, Jack Whitmer, he started at quarterback last year. And at halftime, actually, of that game against Skyview, where they were just getting thumped, they went back to they changed quarterbacks, and Whitmer didn't play quarterback the rest of the year.
That's right.
And that was as a junior last year. This year, of course, Whitmer a senior, and a good learning. He said it was a good learning experience from him, and heard that he kind of took it that way. He didn't get upset or hurt, had his feelings hurt. He said, "I got to get better," and it looks like he's done that.
Well, and you can take it two ways when something like that happens. You can pack it in, or you can say, "Hey, listen, I've got to improve.
Yep.
I've got to do the things that it takes to win this back if this is what I want to play," and he has certainly done that. We'll see exactly what happens here.
Yeah, Whitmer, he's primarily a throwing quarterback, and when they made a change last year, it was to primarily a running quarterback in that scenario. And Whitmer under center here, pitches back to Parrish, I believe. Parrish, no gain on the play.
And Tanner Green, the inside linebacker, senior for Alta, steps up and makes a good tackle, forcing the third down. And, for Alta, you look at this and say, hey, they've moved the ball pretty good on us so far. If we can get a third down stop here and force a punt, we'll feel pretty good about this first possession. Way up by Yellowstone, we can see a few clouds, and that's about it.
And the smoke's cleared out. CJ.
Well, yeah, the wind yesterday.
Nice.
Wind yesterday cleared that out. And I'll tell you what, a week ago you couldn't have seen from here to the hill where BYU Idaho is.
A flag, I think we're going to have an illegal shift. And a false start, actually, is the call. So,
penalty. And penalties, no matter what sport you play, are killers. They're momentum killers. They're product killers.
Well, and it was 3rd and 7, and now all of a sudden it's 3rd and 12, and much different scenario here at 3rd and 12 than 3rd and 7 for the Rams.
Yeah, sure.
Whitmer will be in the gun. He'll have Parrish to his right. Back to pass. Whitmer looking down the field. No one open. Still looking. Now he finds his receiver. It's complete for a first down. A great patient Whitmer there, and who gets it to Jackson Schumann for a first down.
Yeah, he does, and Schumann was able to lose Noah Flores. When you give that much time to a quarterback in the backfield, but kudos obviously to the offensive line for doing that. It is tough to stay with the receiver during that long period of time, and Flores just finally got left behind and left an opening for a first down.
I want to thank our local sponsors. We'll be hearing a little more from them later as well today. Satterfield Realty and Development, as well as Lava Hot Springs. Would have been a great place to be today as well.
It's amazing because lava is actually how you say it, but when you go down there, everybody says lava.
That is correct.
So I always go with the locals, kind of when in Rome, That's what I do.
When in lava, say lava.
That's right. If you have not been to Lavatu or Lava, what a fun place. What a fun place.
Yeah, it is a great place. There's a lot to do. Of course, the Olympic pool. But then there's the river that you can float down through there.
Well, we went down a couple weeks ago, and the pool was closed. We
Yeah.
got there because they had a pipe that had broke the night before, and we didn't check the internet right before we went down. So we floated the river a whole bunch of times and ran over to Soda Springs and saw the springs there, and went up to Chesterfield, one of the ghost towns in Idaho that has now been restored, a lot of it. They give tours, a lot of fun.
My ancestors, there's a Denmark Jensen home there
That's right.
been restored. That's my great-great-grandfather.
That's right. Well, my mom worked with one of your relatives there as a tour guide for about 5 years because they were the ones that restored the Jensen home. The families, they contacted many of the families and asked them if they would like to come up and be a part of the restore. And
I helped re-roof that building when I was a junior or senior in high school.
There's a lien on the back of that, which is awesome. You know, one of the old soapbox liens. Has on it. A lot of fun.
Whitmer across the middle, threads the needle and hits it complete for a first down. Caught by number 3, Raymond Barella.
So my family's home there is up on the other, up on the side where you come into town.
Okay.
Up on that. And my oldest son, for an Eagle Scout project, because, of course, the home was built in the 1800s, but in the early 1900s, the family that lived in it had built a little, just kind of a porch, covered enclosed porch on the back. And he went up there and repainted that and redid that up as part of his Eagle Scout project. So
very nice.
Fun.
Got encroachment by the defensive corner or the defensive back. He was way over the ball.
Yeah, I think so. Also, as you look at number 75, Lapuo, excuse me, looks like a Samoan name. Anyway, he looked to be lined up over it as well.
Yeah, I mean, he is, not too far off the line there. A little inside screen and a big tackle at the end, but I think he's going to pick up a first down as well.
35, Ian Smith, inside linebacker, just a junior, comes up, makes the tackle for Alta. Alta, again, a big school down in Utah. Like I said, the last few years, it's Corner Canyon came around, and there was some split there. That took some of their students away, and they've been kind of a 500 team these last few years, but a very good, very storied program, and a program like that does not stay 500 for very long.
Slung out to Cade Jones with some blocking, but he can't shake the defenders. Get tackled at the 20.
In fact, my son-in-law, Tanner Godfrey, graduate of Alta High School, he's now they're the Godfrey families, the Nitro Circus family, and he is now the world record holder on national TV, longest jump in a razor. Did it on national TV a little over a year ago. When he was 18 years old, he was paralyzed from the chest down in a motocross accident. Married to my oldest daughter.
That pitch goes to Eli Parrish. He'll lose about a half a yard on the play.
Yeah. Brings up a long third down. But, we were talking about this before the game, about the leg that the kicker for Highland has. And you have to imagine this is more than well within the range.
Yeah, that's Ian Hershey, and he's been doing it for a long time at Highland High School. It's finally his senior year. He's been impressive from day one that we've seen him as he started kicking for Highland a few years ago. Back to passes. Whitmer across the middle. There were two men there, and it got knocked away. Great defensive play. It had it in his hands and got knocked away.
Yeah, both of them tried to grab it, and Christian Thomas, the senior defensive back, steps up in there and able to get a hand on that and knock that down and force them into a fourth down. Pardon me, it's second down.
No, it is fourth.
It should be fourth. That's right.
The down marker is wrong across from us.
Yeah. Well, and then even the board still has it as third, but it should be fourth down. Yeah, the board's got it right.
Yeah. There we go. Now they got it switched on the down marker. But here is Ian Hershey, number 10. This is well within his range. Knocks it up. It's up if it's in, and it is. Almost hits the moving vehicle.
Man, that would have been an extra 10 points. You hit a moving vehicle out there. And, folks, just so you understand, there is a net behind the goalpost, and he cleared that net.
Easily.
Big time. And he had plenty of height on it, plenty of distance. That would have been probably good from about 50.
Well, we were seeing him hit it from 50 pretty consistently in warm-ups, and then he scooted back to 55, and he was more of a, 1 out of 2 range at 55. But that's a heck of a kick for a high schooler. He'll be definitely looked at if he hasn't been already recruited. I'm sure he's got some offers just as a kicker if he wanted to go do it.
You know what? You think, gee, how can a college have a bad kicking game? There's so many kickers out there, but there's really not a lot of great kickers out there. And anytime you can pick a good kicker up, because those special teams, your kickers, punters, make such a humongous difference, particularly at the college and pro level. At the high school level, a lot of teams just plan on having a scheme that doesn't involve that on a lot of years. It doesn't involve it at a high level. But for Highland and behind the leg of Hershey, who I expect to put it deep into the end zone right here, it's a little bit different.
And Hershey launches it into the end zone and clears the inner fence here at Bobcat
on a
Stadium.
Bounce. It was a ground rule double.
Ground rule double. Well, Billy and Steve Satterfield and Remax Country Real Estate are proud supporters of the Highland Rams. As lifelong residents of the Highland area and alumni of the high school, Billy and Steve have long been committed to supporting the Rams and enjoying helping families buy and sell real estate in the area. With 70 years of real estate experience in Pocatello, no duo brings more skill or commitment when representing you. Go Rams.
I think our duo's pretty good.
Yeah, we're pretty good. Not at selling. Well, I'm not good at
selling.
selling.
Well, I'm not talking
real
about
estate.
selling real estate. I'm just talking our duo. They didn't clarify the duo.
that's true.
What the duo was doing. Sure, it happened to be a real estate ad. No, we appreciate all our advertisers, Satterfield Realty and Development. It was a great job.
Yeah,
Great job.
Nice run there on first down. Carrying a couple of would-be tacklers for about 5 of those yards. It'll be a first down on the first carry out at the 31-yard line. Handoff goes to number 34, and he'll get dropped for a short gain of 2. That's Anson Jaramillo, a running back, a junior.
Highland, as you look from the offensive side of it, they're an offense, on the line was significantly bigger than Alta was. And we don't have heights and weights on their particular roster. We have for several of the teams in this, but this one we do not. But they were bigger, and they have a big defensive line as well, does Highland.
Back to pass is Ethan Jackson. Now he's flushed out of the pocket, and he might have got back to the line of scrimmage as he ran out of bounds.
Yeah, and the outside linebacker, Colton George, was the one to finally get up there and knock him out. Boy, and he was full speed. Colton George was. They kind of avoided quite a collision there.
Ethan Jackson, a senior quarterback, does not play at least not listed to play on the defense, which is, him and Matt McKee are the only ones listed or not listed to play both ways as far as the roster goes.
Yeah. And a lot of them won't play both ways, even though they're listed as it. You get up in these big schools, and they have a lot of dedicated, nice screen pass.
Yeah, and some room to run here for Jace Turner. He picks up the first down out to the 45-yard line. The first man had a shot at him but couldn't bring him down. And beyond that, there was open field for Jace Turner.
Yeah, finally took the cornerback, Adam Jones, to come and knock him out. But not before there was a first down picked up for the Alta Hawks.
4:25 left to go here in the first quarter, just underway in Game 6 of the Rocky Mountain Rumble. We got one after this, but we're enjoying this one with the sun starting to go down behind us a little bit. We get later in the day. Handoff right up the middle to the big fullback. He rumbles down to the 49. No, they're going to say 48-yard line.
Yeah, and tripped up on an ankle tackle by Gunnar Wilhelm, the middle linebacker, who came up and was actually already on the ground when he was able to grab the ankle and bring him down.
It was Ian Smith on the carry for the Hawks. So 2nd and 7. Just shy of midfield here for the Hawks. Jackson, a handoff up the middle to Jaramillo, and Jaramillo takes it all the way into Ram territory, down to the 41-yard line.
Well, and hit first would appear to be number 15, Campbell Thomas. Come in first, had some help afterwards, but Thomas got up in there. And again, you know, we've talked about this numerous times in past games that the important thing is if you're the defense, you cannot continue to let the runners get into the secondary. You have got to at least slow them down at the line, whether it's a bump or a tackle.
Good blocking downfield by those wide receivers as they spring him for another 7 or 8 yards on that play. They just weren't able, the defense wasn't able to get off those blocks out there to try to make that tackle.
Well, and Noah Flores for Alta out here, he's been the right side out. Now he's going to the left side this time. He might be a receiver they can end up targeting on one-on-one coverage. He seems to be awfully quick. It'll be interesting to see what happens with him, especially as high as the linebackers are coming up right now.
Bad snap that was way high, and because of it, a sack in the backfield. It was 2nd and 2, and it's going to go back to 3rd and about 8.
Well, and the bottom line on that play was even without a bad snap, that was going to be a sack. I mean, that they failed to make the adjustment to the blitz coming off, and they blitzed from both sides, and were able just, I mean, they were on that so quick. As my grandpa used to say, like a pack of dogs on a 3-legged cat, right? Come on, you haven't heard that?
Well, I'm glad that was the version that he had, because there's.
Well, he had other versions that aren't appropriate.
I was going to say that I've heard a lot of things down the field, and that was just who you talked about,
Yep.
Flores. A beautiful diving catch at the 3-yard line.
Yeah, and Flores seemed, I've been watching him run routes, and they hadn't thrown to him yet, and watching him run those routes, he had the speed advantage. So I felt that they would target him sometime soon.
So it's 1st and goal now for the Hawks, trailing 3-0.
Flores just a junior. He's also a defensive back.
And with the running game that, at least so far, that Alta has shown, I wouldn't be surprised they hand this off a few times here to try to find the end zone. They've got the fullback in there right next to Jackson, and behind him they've got Jaramillo.
That's right, and he's going to be blocking for Jaramillo. We're going to see it right here. Jaramillo got shifted and ended up going up the A-gap on the right side, but initially he was set to follow the fullback.
So he gains a yard, and it's going to be 2nd and goal at the just shy of the 2.
Yeah, and for Highland, that was Wilhelm again. Stepped up, getting the tackle. You know, both these teams have proven their offenses can move the ball. The difference is Highland eventually got stopped and had to settle for a field goal.
Right now, just an I formation. It goes to the fullback. He got caught from behind. I don't think he got to the goal line.
No, and looks about a yard short. If you look at the near side, the side judge on the near.
Yeah, so just about midway between, so a half yard, midway between the goal line and the 1-yard line.
We do not know what Alta's kicking game is like should it come down to that. We just do not know.
We're running down to the end of the quarter, 15 seconds and counting here. They'll get the snap off for sure prior to the end of the quarter.
Carter Bell is listed as the kicker. He's the only one listed as a kicker.
It goes to the fullback again. He didn't get in there. His knee went down early. He doesn't get in. He fell in after.
In fact, he might have lost a half yard on that, where his knee went down.
So the ball was ahead of him, so it's going to be short of the goal line. His knee went down prior to him falling over the goal line.
They'll have to wait till quarter number 2 to do it.
Yep. End of the quarter, and they'll take the ball all the way down to the other end of the field for their next opportunity to score. We're going to take a quick break and step away. We'll be back for the second quarter here on IdahoSports.com.
The injuries look like those seen in people exposed to poisons like mustard gas. That's how doctors are describing what they see in the lungs of vapors. The chemicals can essentially burn your lungs. Find the truth at BehindTheHaze.com.
Well, welcome back. As we get ready to go here on the second quarter, we've moved the ball clear to the north end zone as it is now 3rd and goal. No,
4th.
Oh, that down marker's wrong. It's 3rd and goal. They've only had 2 run plays. It's not.
No,
it's
it
not
should be
4th.
Yeah, they just motioned 4th down as well. And they've got it set
maybe
to
I'm
4th
wrong.
down.
I thought it was only 3rd. That ball came loose. I don't think they got there. Nobody has signaled yet.
Just the players.
Yeah, of course. It was Jackson on a keeper. Man, this long, I don't think they're going to give it to him. No, they do not.
So Highland gets the stop. Now what Highland's got to avoid here is a blitz coming off the corners and getting a safety.
Well, I'll tell you what, Highland's defense stands up big right at the goal line. I mean, they're inches shy of the goal line here. And they had 4 opportunities to poke it in, and they couldn't do it. And I'm trying to think. There was 4 attempts. My mistake.
Yeah, because on the 3rd down, remember his knee touchdown, he lost about a half yard.
I forgot about
here.
the first actual handoff that went from Hamarillo.
Yeah, and remember, in high school, we do not have instant replay. You know, instant replay very might have confirmed that it didn't get in or changed it. You know, we just don't have that in high school ranks. So you go with what you have, and half the crowd's going to be mad at the officials, and half will be happy.
Yeah, some of them think that was a fantastic call.
That's right.
So about a yard gain is all on that first down play. It's 2nd and 9.
As if any of us have any clue whether it actually happened or not.
I don't even know if they know. Even the ball carrier probably couldn't see where the line was with the mass of humanity that was down there.
That is right.
2nd and 9.
We do have a blitz coming off.
Yes, sir. He gets rid of it and nearly intercepted. That ball was high.
Boy, and that was risky, you know, and it's probably a good thing he threw it high, because if he'd have thrown that to the numbers, you had 3 defenders right there and only 1 offensive man. That was going to come back for a touchdown for sure.
18 was the intended receiver, Fisher Anderson.
Yeah, and Flores, who we talked about offensively, who had the big catch to put him in scoring position. He was in on that defensive assignment there.
Raymond Barella checks into the ball game for Highland.
Now you can have 2 of the same numbers on a team, but they have to play opposite sides of the ball. In this case, there's only 1 number 3 on their team, so it's Flores, playing both sides.
That pass incomplete, too far outside. As
Highland fans wanted a pass interference, but I think it was a good no call.
Yeah, Whitmer took another shot at the end of that, and it's 4th down, and now Hershey, who, if you got anybody having to kick the ball here, it's probably your best. We were watching him punt as well. He's got a beautiful punt, but he's going to be backed up at the back of his end zone.
Well, and the challenge here is he's going to be about 7 yards forward from what he typically is, 5 to 7 yards forward from what he typically is, and with a blitz coming off, which will certainly happen. You know, that no matter how good you are, that does pose some significant challenges.
Yeah, he's going to have to get it off quick. The return men are back at midfield.
Yeah, Turner and Barraza.
But he does get it off. It's a low liner. Takes a nice bounce, though, and gets by the return men. So he probably couldn't ask for much better from Hershey there to get it down to about the 47-yard line.
Yeah, even though Highland starts, you know, on the with good field position on the Ram side of the field, really the scenario was about as good as you could ask for coming off the foot of Hershey.
Yeah, I don't think Hershey was happy with the foot he got on it.
Well, I think a lot of it was just
pretty
rushing
good.
it. I think the result was just simply having to rush it and get it out. We know what he can do with his leg. There's no question.
But nonetheless, it'll be a short field here for the Alta Hawks, who got stood up at the goal line and turned back on the last possession. Handoff in the backfield, and he's caught in the backfield. A big tackle for loss. The ball carrier, number 30, Helam Jones.
Well, and then on the tackle, number 50, Cody Colvin, defensive end for Highland, is a senior as well. Those are good-looking uniforms down there, aren't they?
Yeah, both of them. I like both of them.
I do. I like, to be honest with you, I like the plainness of the Alta uniforms. My favorite uniforms in college football, and I'm not big fans of either one of these teams, but Penn State and Notre Dame with nothing on their helmet for the most part, and just the plain uniforms. I just love it.
That pass incomplete. The zone defense, he got kind of in between, but they had to throw it over the short man.
Yeah, I was going to say, had Campbell have been able to get to that, there was, he would have been able to pick up some yards after the catch, you at least assume. Out there on the defensive assignment was 25 Lucas Barker. The free safety, sometimes strong safety.
So it's now 3rd and 14. Ethan Jackson back in the gun. Snap a little high, but he corralled it down the field and just off the fingertips on that little wheel route. It was Helam Jones, the intended receiver.
Yeah, Colton George on the defensive assignment there. And, one thing we have noticed about the receivers from Alta, they have been able to get some distance. And that's something, as this game moves on, that you have to look at. And something you have to address if you're on the Hawk sideline is listen, those passes have to be in there because our guys are in position to get yards after the catch.
Yeah, that one just a little overthrown. And now after a 3 and out, they'll punt back to Highland. Low snap, but he gets the kickoff. Fielded, fair catch called for.
Yeah, surprises me that Barella, Fair caught that. He did have some room to bring it off and run. Of course, you don't always know that, as it's coming to you. And you don't fear the ball.
Well,
you do fear the guy coming to you.
Yeah, it's at the 13-yard line. But often, that was a fairly low line drive punt. It wasn't a big hanger that gives lots of time for the coverage team to get down there. So
yeah,
typically
that's why
you'll have
I thought
time
he
to
would run it. Yeah. Well, and you get a lot of teams now that what they do, in fact, BYU, you see them do this in football, in college football, is where they'll run for a minute with a rugby-style kicker. That gives time for the defense to get more down there, and rarely does anybody ever get a run back on them, when it comes to a punt.
Whitmer across the middle, complete for a first down at about the 24-yard line, 1st and 10.
Helam Jones, senior DB for Alta, comes up and gets that tackle, and it was good to stop the yards after catch, but a great offensive call and a wide open receiver.
I think that was Barella, again, right in the middle of the field.
Well, and the crossing routes, are what's opening them up because it takes just that extra split second for defenders to decide who's going with who.
Rush coming from the left side here. They pick it up. A nice spin move and tackled out at the 30-yard line as they threw it out into the flat to Eli Parrish.
I'll tell you, Tanner Green tried to jump that pass, and had he have got it, that would have been a pick six for sure, and he was awfully close. I don't know how he did not get a hand on that.
At least tip it.
Yeah, that's right. The inside linebacker had tried to jump that route, which I thought was a good move by him. Yeah.
So now it is 2nd and 5 for Highland. Man in motion is Dahlstrom. A run play up the middle, and maybe a yard is all as he gets driven back. It's number 13, Cade Jones, I think, on the carry.
I really like the delayed handoff. I like that play. Obviously, you don't use it all the time, but it's kind of like a changeup for a pitcher in baseball, where it kind of catches them off guard a little bit, gets everybody in a certain movement. You get used to a certain speed and a certain angle of the game. And
it freezes everybody just for a second, just like a changeup.
It does.
Whitmer with the nice pitch, first down, and now out of bounds for Eli Parrish. Dangerously, in my opinion, reaching that ball out. Maybe he didn't get to the sticks.
Yeah,
he must have stepped out of bounds.
He must have got short of it. But
I thought he
was
Whitmer,
there. I was really surprised, in that situation. I thought Whitmer probably should have hung on to it for another step and really done a hard fake to cut up, and draw that defender just one more little step on that. I just thought he pitched it quite early.
Too quick. So they'll bring on, I thought he got to the first down marker. He did not. He was a couple yards short, stepped out of bounds, and Hershey will be back on to kick it away. A lot more room on this attempt. And a lot better punt. Look at that spiral, driving the returnman back to the 15-yard line. A good return coming here, though.
Good move.
And gets outside, out to the 30-yard line, so picks up 15 yards on the return.
Yeah, Jace Turner was the returner on that. The junior for Alta gets out and really, he got forced out of bounds by position, but not by contact. Did a great job bringing it back, gave good field position to Alta, who's looking to get on the board after being stopped on the goal line a couple possessions ago.
And another defensive struggle here as we've got 8 minutes left in the second quarter. First quarter did go by quickly, but the second quarter has kind of slowed down with a lot of change of possession here.
Yeah, it's been the change of possession. Typically it slows down with with penalties. That just hasn't been the case here. Not that we haven't had any penalties today, but it's just been very few. Yeah, incomplete passes also slow the game down.
Handoff to Jones. Jones trying to get the corner. Ball came loose, I think, but it got out of bounds.
Yeah, it did. And it was Campbell Thomas that finally knocked it. He was going for the ball, and it was kind of a risky play by Thomas because he was actually going for the ball, which makes it so it's not, you're not really in as much of a tackling position. So if you're not able to strip that ball away, there's a chance that guy's going to squirt for several more yards. But ultimately ended up working out to go out of bounds.
7:30 left here, 2nd and 5 for Alta. Jackson in the gun, hands off again, tripped up he falls forward for the line of scrimmage.
Fantastic tackle by Lane Frazier, defensive lineman, a senior. And already this game shaping up to be much better for Highland than last year was. They were down quite heavily by this time last year.
Jaramillo with the carry on that play. It's been Jaramillo and number 30, Helam Jones, on most of the carries for the Hawks. And some early movement and a false start. So now it's from 3rd and 5 to 3rd and 10. Man, 3 flags came in. Everybody saw it.
Yeah, you want to get in on the action, if you haven't thrown your flag yet. And you
that
see it and
arm
everyone
loose.
else says, hey, I might as well get mine going, make sure my flag's in my pocket. It's still working.
Yeah,
that's right. Well, like a pitcher before
throw
before the inning starts.
Some warm-up pitches.
That's right.
Been a good officiating crew, a 5-man crew here in today's game. Back to pass is Jackson, steps up, and now he's going to get sacked back at the 26-yard line.
Absolutely clobbered that time. That by number 50, Cody Colvin, the D-end. And Colvin, the senior, came up and never gave up on the play. As soon as the step-up took place into the middle, Colvin was all over that.
So they force a punt, do the Highland Rams as well. A little bit of field position game going on here as they've punted back and forth, and now Highland might be on the winning side of this field position battle right now. 5:57 left.
And both teams have proven the offenses can move, but they've also proved they could stop the other offense, as there's been a bunch of punts. That's going to be defensive interference.
Yeah. It hit, actually, the ball hit the defender, number 13.
I think it did on the helmet. It looked
Tate Medina, the coverage man, prior to allowing.
It was Barella that was waiting back there for the catch.
For Barella to receive that.
Yeah. Well, and Barella had called for the fair catch already as well.
Well, and I don't even think the ball ever touched Barella. It hit the return or the kicking team.
Well, and even if it hadn't have hit the other player, he was inside that kind of invisible circle that you have, where you can go.
Kick catch interference. I don't know what the penalty is on that. Is it 10 yards?
I believe it is a 10-yard penalty.
So that'll put him.
That's 15.
15-yard
penalty. Yeah, that's right. It's administrated the same as a personal foul. So,
15-yard penalty. You don't see that penalty often.
You do see it quite a bit in the NFL.
Yeah.
More so than college and high school, at least on a percentage basis.
So a nice starting field position inside of Hawk territory down at the 42-yard line with 5:46 to go. Whoa, flea flicker down the field. That is dangerous. The man was there to knock it down. Jones.
Yeah, it was excellent coverage. Noah Flores.
Excuse me.
Was there, and you know, Flores who's been on the other side of the ball, and you know, oftentimes your best DBs are also your receivers because they know both sides of the ball, how it works. In fact, you know, when you go into the college game, you see a lot of corners there. Most of those kids played receiver in high school as well and understand the position.
Second and 10. Flipped out in the flat, little running room, but then tripped up is number 2, Eli Parrish, for a short gain.
Yeah, Highland Jones did a great job kind of holding position there and not being faked out by the spin move, you know, and he was able to go ahead and get the tackle on that, force the third down.
Yeah, 3rd and long here, 3rd and 9. They've got to get down to the 32, and the ball sits just beyond the 41.
If defense is your thing, this has been your game. This has been a really, and you know, it's actually been quite a well-paced game for being such a defensive battle. It has a feel of a lot more high-scoring game.
Whitmer. Oh, had his man open and led him too far.
Yep, and he knows it too. He kind of jumped and hit his helmet after. Oh, man, so close.
Schumann was the intended receiver, and he had the first down and more across the middle.
And this is oftentimes go-for-it range. They are bringing Hershey on, so it looks like we are going to have a kick. But
let's see if he can hit a six. Well, that'd be about a 56-yarder.
Yeah.
I don't think so. He's going to punt. I'm kind of disappointed. Yeah.
Actually, it would be a 60-yarder.
It would have been a 60-yarder, pretty close.
Yeah.
That might be a little out of his range.
Yeah, and you know, he's got to watch for a fake here too, because this is territory where you can maybe afford it if you don't get it.
But Hershey will kick it away.
Yeah, rugby style this time, and
high kick. And they got to get down there to cover it, and they will not.
Yep. And that was the kick he wanted. It wasn't a short kick because he can't kick farther.
Yeah.
It was short because he designed it. And it actually had the spin to come backwards on it. Just happened to hit
wrong
a little bit forward and went. But that's why, you know, when you're going down as the teammate, you got to go ahead and you got to pursue all the way to the line, you know, all the way to the goal line on that, where both stopped and then got kind of caught with their pants flapping in the wind and had to try to chase it down after.
And that's the Highland coaching staff actually talking to the coverage men right there, like, you got to run beyond where it's going to land.
That's
right. Get down to, like you say, the goal line and protect the goal line and wait for the ball. If it bounces the other way, who cares? But
that's right. That's what you expect.
Yeah, try to pin them.
So they'll get it at for the worst.
Yeah, they'll get it at the 20. Will the Hawks? Under 5 minutes, they'll throw it out into the flat. And good shoestring tackle out there as Flores couldn't get away, but he'll still pick up 4 yards on the play.
Yeah, Gunnar Wilhelm, middle linebacker. That's 2 that he's made flat-footed today. Or no, I should say flat-backed or flat-stomached.
Yeah,
he was already on the ground. Yeah,
tackling people from the ground.
Yeah.
So 2nd and, let's say 7. They only give him 3 on that play. Handoff to Jaramillo. Jaramillo, hard running, but a good tackle there. Goes low at the legs. Nice job.
Yeah, Adam Jones came up, and Adam Jones was outsized in that matchup there, but he was able to take that hit, bring him down, and force the 3rd down.
Yeah, so 3rd and a long 2 now for the Hawks. As the clock continues to roll, under 4 minutes now here in the first half, and they jumped the count, and that'll be a free first down with the 5-yard penalty.
And you know what? When you're yet to get on the scoreboard, you'll take it any way you can.
So 5-yard penalty takes it out to the 33-yard line, and it's a first down and 10 from there. Clock continues to run. Back to pass. Jackson slings it out, caught, and the ball came loose, but it was late and out of bounds. So a complete catch, pick up about 5.
Yeah, the outside linebacker Fulmer had great pursuit on that to be able to bring him down with textbook ankle tackle.
I'm going to say they gave him 6, so it's 2nd and 4 upcoming.
Yeah, I think that was a little bit generous on that.
I thought the ball came out, and I wonder if the ball actually rolled forward as he fumbled it out of bounds. Back in the gun once more, and
now a false start. That was an easy call.
Boston Blanco jumped on that one.
Blanco, the
nobody around him to hide
junior
it
tight end.
He was right on the end of the line, and everybody saw it.
He is not a big tight end
no.
Body, but you know, in high school, oftentimes you just put them where they're the most effective. You know, once you get up to the college level, you really got to have somebody that's just a nasty blocker out there, you know, to be really ultimately successful at that. But in the high school ranks, you put them where they're the most efficient, most effective.
So after the penalty, it'll be back to 2nd and 9. Back to pass. Little screen set up inside, and that ball blown up and I think intercepted.
It was, and the penalty is going to be on Alta, so this should stay or will stay with
like an offensive pass interference scenario.
Yeah. Well, the flag was in the backfield. It was a holding in the backfield.
Oh, a holding call. Okay.
That's, of course, declined because Highland intercepted the ball.
And I didn't see where that got deflected, but all of a sudden it ended up in the backfield. But it hit somebody, or somebody got hit.
Well, I think it deflected off the receiver.
Okay.
It was knocked off the receiver's hands. When he got it in there, he got hit, and it came up. That's what it appeared to be.
Okay. So a turnover by the Alta Hawks with 3:20 left here in the second quarter gives Highland another opportunity here deep in the territory of the Hawks to try to put some more points on the board. Just 3-0 here in this ball game. You know, early on in this Rumble, we were talking about the high-scoring games, and really the last one, the blowout that we had, has been the only real high-scoring game. Good run by Whitmer. Jack Whitmer out near maybe a yard short. We'll see where the spot is. Yeah, it does look like they're going to mark him down a yard shy of the first down. So 2nd and 1 here. Clock moves. Under 3 minutes now here in the second quarter.
A lot of cheerleaders down on the field for Highland. They're the two most perennial cheer programs in the state are actually Highland and Sugar Salem for their various school size. I know Sugar's won 7 of the last 10 state championships in cheer.
First down and more for Eli Parrish.
Yeah, and I love the gold shoes, you know. Takes me back to Michael Johnson in the Olympics, you know.
They are flashing down there. I just noticed that myself.
Saw that light kind of shimmer off those, you know. That's right.
Maybe they're just those light-up ones that when you step, they
could be. Remember Karl Malone trying to wear those old L.A. gears
in
the NBA, and they put a quick shutdown to that when the lights started going off on them.
Whitmer, nice fake on the pitch. Still running down the field. He'll be right at the 10, inside the 10, 1st and goal for Highland.
Well, see, when you're patient with that pitch there, you know, those are the kind of things that opened up. Great keeper.
Yeah, that was a great job. You know, Whitmer not really, at least last year, not really known for running the ball much. He's more of a passing quarterback, but right now he's taking what they are giving him and making the most of it. And it's 1st and goal from just inside the 10 for Highland. 1:42 on the clock here in the first half. Oh, through the hands of the receiver that was in the end zone. That should have been a touchdown. That was Fisher Anderson.
Yeah, Isaac Yaramillo with the defensive assignment there, but the defense didn't knock the ball away. That was just flat out a missed catch. As that pass, I mean, it's pretty tough to throw that any better. He threw it up where only his guy could get it.
There was a shorter receiver that was kind of in the same path, just about the 2 or 3 yard line. I wonder if he kind of
maybe hesitated
got in the way of you know, that the view of the ball a little bit.
Could have. The ball was thrown great though.
Yeah, it was a great throw. Pitch, running room, into the end zone, touchdown. Eli Parrish for the Highland Rams. Good blocking on the right side, and it's now 9-0.
Well, and he was able to make that cut back in, and Highland Jones was kind of faked out by that. He continued to come to the west side, and that allowed the runner to move up in and score the run. That first touchdown of the game coming with $1:26 remaining in half number 1.
And here is Hershey lined up for the PAT.
Looks like the freeway's moving good out in front of us after a huge accident a little while ago we saw on the news.
My wife got caught up in that, had to sit there for an hour while they cleaned up a camp trailer that had flipped over along with the truck, or the SUV that was pulling it.
Yeah.
She
Been
sat there
several
for an hour.
accidents out here on Highway 20 the last several days, including a couple deaths, unfortunately, that have happened. Yeah. Lava Hot Springs is your destination for a relaxing day away from it all. Just 10 minutes from McCammon and I-15. They're open daily from 9 a.m. to 10 p.m., 11 p.m. on Friday and Saturday. They're happily welcoming visitors to sit and enjoy their world-famous hot pools. The all-natural geothermal hot springs are always a warm 102 to 112 degrees. The indoor aquatic center will open for the fall season beginning October 1st, Friday through Sunday, and offers kiddie splash times on Tuesday and Wednesday mornings. Lava Hot Springs is taking extra precautions to ensure your safety at this time and asks patrons to be respectful of others as you come and soak all your worries away. Check out LavaHotSprings.com for more information. And Lauren, it says it doesn't specify what you're supposed to be respectful of, but I'm sure they are specifically asking you not to wear your European Speedo next time you go down.
Well, or maybe they just want me to shave prior.
Yeah, your legs.
And here comes a good return. Hershey gets over there and finally pushes him out of bounds. That was on the return, Jace Turner. And good return out to about the 36-yard line.
Yeah, it's a good run back when it's the kicker that has to go over and make that tackle. And that's when coaches start getting on players on the sideline and say, don't you get our kicker injured.
Well,
you get that guy down.
The thing I liked there about Hershey wasn't sitting back waiting for him to come to him. He went after him to make sure that he could cut down the angle.
Yep.
So here we go, a minute 17 for the Hawks to try to make something happen here before halftime. Back to pass is Jackson. It's caught by Flores, but nowhere to go.
Yeah, textbook defense by Jackson Sabonma, I believe is how you say that, Sabonma. He's a junior corner. First time we've called his name tonight, and I might have butchered it, but I think I was okay on it. But right now, they're in that bend, don't break, under a minute now.
Yeah, 7-yard gains, a nice gain there. That ball well out in front of Turner. No chance for that. So it'll be 3rd and 3 upcoming.
Yeah, save Mason Fulmer from having to go up and make the tackle. He was right there ready for that. That pass was no good.
Clock stops with 52 seconds left. There are still, everybody's got 3 timeouts still in this half.
Don't forget, coming up at 8 o'clock, right here on IdahoSports.com on the same field, host Madison and Bear River, Utah.
Jackson flushed up out of the pocket. Now he's going to run for it. First down and dives across midfield to the 48.
Yeah, that was a good. That was good by Jackson. He was actually brought down by number 58 on the field, Cole Olson. However, pardon me, 53 Lane Frazier. However, all he did was essentially make sure that he touched him so that he'd be down because he already did the dive and got the first.
39 seconds and counting. Down the field, it's Flores. And no, the tackle's missed. Flores is on a foot race. Flores, touchdown. And there's the big play ability from Noah Flores. And the Hawks score with about 20 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah, the only player with a chance to get to him was Campbell Thomas, the junior strong safety, and just not able to get there in time.
Well, in the initial tackle, he just missed him.
Yeah.
Flores got away from him.
That is right. And they had gone with that hurry-up offense, after picking up the first down. It paid off for sure. First time we get to see the kicking game of Alta.
Yeah, number 26, Carter Bell. Hold and snap are good. Kick is up and good. So it was looking like Highland up 10-0 into halftime, and now it's 10-7.
9-7, actually.
Oh, my mistake.
Yeah.
9-7.
Your big mistake. Huge. Massive mistake.
How did I miss? He missed the extra point?
Well, we might be wrong on the scoreboard.
I think the scoreboard's wrong. I don't think he missed the extra point.
But usually in a scenario like that, you end up with a number of parents up at the scorer's booth saying, "Hey, you're ripping us off a point. I haven't seen anybody come up. At least I haven't seen anybody dragged out of the stadium for abusing the score booth." We get ready now for the kickoff. 30 seconds, exactly a half minute on the clock before we go into halftime. Alta coming back into this ball game, 7-9.
Well, I guess I just kind of assumed that Hershey was going to knock that PAT in, but they say the refs waved it off, and he didn't. So,
got a low line driver.
A lot of blocking in front of him, but he's going to get
a decent field position. I mean, with 22 seconds left, you get a couple of deep ones down there, and you put yourself in field goal range. And we already know what Hershey can do. And no wind, you look at the flag. So, yesterday you'd have to get quite close, even with a good foot, at least be probably within 30 yards to be able to kick a field goal going south. But today, without the wind, that's not an issue. This is a north-south field. Wind typically comes from the southwest to the northeast here.
Little screen set up for Parrish. He's got blockers out there. Running out of a little bit of room. He'll pick up the first down and more as he spins out of bounds to stop the clock. 13 seconds left on the clock.
You can still get another full playoff. Neither team has used a timeout this half. Taken down by number 8 from Alta, Christian Thomas. Thomas also a wide receiver, one of the seniors for Alta.
Ball at the 44-yard line as on comes Jack Whitmer with the play from the sideline. We'll see what they opt to do here with 14 seconds left.
I'll tell you, big number 75, Lapuahu for Alta. They are trying to avoid him as much as possible on that line. He is a big boy.
That ball nearly picked off, but an incomplete. Hit the legs of Colton Snedden.
You can probably go down the sideline about 25 yards, maybe 30 if you could get a pass and out of bounds, and give kind of a Hail Mary kick potentially to Hershey. But you got to do it down the sideline because you're probably only going to have a second left on the clock if you were to go that distance.
Yeah, I think if they could get the ball down to about the 30.
Well, yeah, I think it's
maybe 35.
It's reasonable by that. They're just going to need it and go in for the half. But I think even if you get it down to the 40, you give him an opportunity if time's going to expire on it.
Well, they won't do that. They'll kneel it, like you said. That'll be the end of the half. So a 9-7 game going into halftime. It looked like it was going to be 9-0 Highland, and a late score from Alta brings this ever closer. We're going to step away for halftime. We'll come back, a little halftime show and some comments and thank some sponsors, and then we'll be ready for the third quarter to start. This is the Rocky Mountain Rumble here on IdahoSports.com.
It's time to start planning for back to school. That's why I got my kids vaccinated for COVID-19, so they can be protected from COVID when they're back in the classroom. Kids 12 and older can get vaccinated. The vaccines have been researched and tested. They're safe and they work. Getting vaccinated was quick and easy. You can walk into a pharmacy to get one. We got our COVID-19 vaccine, and I hope everyone will choose to get vaccinated too.
Get a free COVID-19 vaccine today. Find a location near you at covidvaccine.idaho.gov.
Lead the charge into a brighter future with the all-new 2022 Volkswagen ID4. With an EPA estimated range of 250 miles, the ID4 knows how to go the distance. It's an electric SUV that's as fun to drive as it is stylish and functional. You don't have to sacrifice good looks for great performance. So stop by our dealership today and jumpstart your year with the Volkswagen ID4. Teton Volkswagen, where it's always no problem to buy and service your vehicle.
At Valleywide Cooperative, we're here when you need us. For 100 years, we have been here to help you with food, fuel, and good old-fashioned advice. And for us, serving is more than a job, it's a way of life, which is why we pour so much into the communities around us. We've employed hundreds of your neighbors. We take pride in that, and in giving back millions in sponsorships, grants, donations, and scholarships. It's our way of saying thanks. We're Valleywide, and yesterday, today, and tomorrow, we're here for you.
Ads like this keep popping up, but I see through the hype because those vape clouds people claim are just water vapor contain as many as 31 different chemicals, like formaldehyde, the stuff they preserve dead bodies with. And while the flavors sound all harmless, we still have no idea what these ingredients could be doing to our bodies. But I already see vaping for exactly what it is. Get the real facts at BehindTheHaze.com.
I decided to get vaccinated because I wanted to protect myself and my family and my customers from COVID-19. When I went to get my COVID-19 vaccine, it was an easy process, is readily available. Since I got vaccinated, I'm confident I'm protected against the COVID-19 virus. My life has returned to business as usual.
We're Valleywide Country Store. For 100 years, we've been your #1 choice for food, fuel, farm supplies, and just about everything else you could need to get you through your day. We know you work until the job is done, and so do we. For gas on the go, or a little extra to help you get down the road, you can count on us. We are proud to employ your neighbors and to be a cornerstone of your community. We're Valleywide. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow, we're here for you.
Scott here from Teton Honda in Pocatello. Our dealership operates on a no-problem philosophy that's designed to put you in charge of your next vehicle purchase. Prefer to shop online? No problem. Evenings or weekends? No problem. Need a wide range of financing and leasing options? No problem. So whether it's one of our beautiful new Hondas or just a vehicle that's new to you, at Teton Honda, we'll help you find the perfect vehicle for your needs. Experience car buying like never before at Pocatello's only No Problem dealership.
In people exposed to poisons like mustard gas.
That's how doctors are describing what they see in the lungs of vapors.
The chemicals can essentially burn your lungs. Find the truth at BehindTheHaze.com.
At Toyota's national sales event, we don't just help you get the perfect vehicle. We're here to open new doors that lead to your road to greatness. Your journey starts at Toyota's National Sales Event.
Toyota, let's go places.
At Valleywide Cooperative, we're here when you need us. For 100 years, we have been here to help you with food, fuel, and good old-fashioned advice. And for us, serving is more than a job, it's a way of life, which is why we pour so much into the communities around us. We've employed hundreds of your neighbors. We take pride in that, and in giving back millions in sponsorships, grants, donations, and scholarships. It's our way of saying thanks. We're Valleywide, and yesterday, today, and tomorrow, we're here for you.
I'm Corey. I'm a dairy nutritionist here in the Treasure Valley. I decided to get vaccinated because I wanted to do my part to protect myself and my family and my customers from COVID-19. As soon as the vaccines were readily available, I was vaccinated. I would encourage people to do the research, listen to the healthcare providers. When I went to get my COVID-19 vaccine, there was hardly any wait. It was an easy process, is readily available. Since I got vaccinated, I'm confident I'm protected against the COVID-19 virus. My life has returned to business as usual.
Ads like this keep popping up, but I see through the hype because those vape clouds people claim are just water vapor contain as many as 31 different chemicals, like formaldehyde, the stuff they preserve dead bodies with. And while the flavors sound all harmless, we still have no idea what these ingredients could be doing to our bodies. But I already see vaping for exactly what it is. Get the real facts at BehindTheHaze.com.
It's not a secret that finding a new car this year is a little tricky. Between chip shortages and supply problems, there's more reasons than ever to come to our no-problem dealerships when you need a new car or truck. Our acquisitions team works hard to make sure that we have a great selection of vehicles to choose from, and our easy-to-buy, easy-to-do business with sales team is ready to deliver the same great value price that we've had for nearly 20 years. Teton Toyota, where it's always no problem to buy and service your car.
Well, welcome back here. We're at halftime as Highland's just starting to walk out onto the field. About 4 minutes left on the clock. The Highland Rams hanging on to a 9-7 lead. It's definitely been a defensive struggle. Highland scored an early field goal and then got a touchdown and then a missed PAT and a late touchdown from Alta. And a PAT made it 9-7. And that's where we stand here at halftime. Like I said, mainly a defensive struggle between these two squads and kind of a field position battle really between the two of them as they punted back and forth to each other. And eventually Highland came out on top of it, but just by a slim margin of 2 points.
Yeah, they have. And I think really, you know, the adjustments that have been made by both teams have been defensive adjustments, because what's happened is both teams have showed prowess in being able to move the ball, but they've also showed prowess in being able to stop the ball at times too. And so I think on that it's been more of a chess match defensively of okay, this is what worked for them offensively. Let's shut this down, and then back and forth. Then they get an offense that goes against the defense that shut them down. So I think really what we're seeing is just your quintessential chess match between two teams.
Yeah, and from that first half, two very evenly matched teams. Just from what we saw in the first half, both quarterbacks playing well. Jack Whitmer showing up well here in his senior season.
Yeah, Whitmer's been doing a great job.
Ethan Jackson, the same on the opposite side of the ball for Alta, senior as well. Both these quarterbacks doing a good job for their respective offenses. Well, Alta now out onto the field as well as we await the second half kickoff.
Alta Hawks from down in the Sandy/Draper area of the Salt Lake Valley. Storied athletic history at Alta.
I want to thank a couple of our local sponsors for tonight's game. Billy and Steve Satterfield in Remax Country Real Estate are proud supporters of the Highland Rams. As long as residents of the Highland area and alumni of the high school, as lifelong residents of the Highland area and alumni of the high school, Billy and Steve have been long committed to supporting the Rams and enjoying helping families buy and sell real estate in the area. With 70 years of real estate experience in Pocatello, no duo brings more skill or commitment when representing you. Go Rams! And Lava Hot Springs, your destination for a relaxing day away from it all. Just 10 or 15 minutes from McCammon and I-15. They're open daily from 9 a.m. to 10 p.m., 11 p.m. on Friday and Saturday. They're happily welcoming visitors to sit and enjoy their world-famous hot pools. The all-natural geothermal hot springs are always a warm 102 to 112 degrees. Their indoor aquatic center will open for the fall season beginning October 1st, Friday through Sunday, and offers kiddie splash time on Tuesday and Wednesday mornings. Lava Hot Springs is taking extra precautions to ensure your safety at this time and asks patrons to be respectful of others as you come and soak away all your worries. Check out lavahot.springs.com for more information.
And don't forget, we've got another ball game coming up tonight here on IdahoSports.com, right here from the Rocky Mountain Rumble. That is your host, Madison High School, as they welcome in Bear River from down in Tremont. Again, this has been an all-Utah, all-Idaho matchup, this Rocky Mountain Rumble. And so far, Utah is up 4-1.
Yeah, no chance for Idaho to come out the winner in that scenario, but a chance to close the gap if they could pick up a win here and in the next one.
Could potentially go 4-3. 4 for Utah, 3 for Idaho.
Well, this is an IdahoSports.com game stream production of East Idaho Game Night presented by the Teton Auto Group. Also brought to you in part by your local Toyota dealer, Project Filter, and Valley-Wide Cooperative. Huge thanks to all of our major partners for helping us bring these game nights to you. And Idaho Sports, we do a lot more than just broadcasting. Check out the website, IdahoSports.com, up for updated scores, schedules, standings, polls, action, photography, galleries, and written content from every corner of the state.
Did you say standing polls or standings?
I think I said standing polls, but I meant standings, polls.
I have seen polls laying on the ground before. Well, most of them do stand.
The standing polls are for you to just like stand by. I don't know
right.
exactly what they're for, but
they stand until they're taken down.
Yeah. We have standings, conference standings to be more specific, and polls, media polls, coaches polls.
Guys, Lauren and I have done this for long enough that I'll tell you, any mistake one of us makes, we're going to point that out like you cannot imagine. It is our goal. It's just like a parent with their kids. If you are not actively seeking to embarrass your children, you're just not doing your job as a parent. It's the same way with broadcast crews.
Yeah, they need to learn some humility. On the return, going to end up shy of the 20-yard line as we get ready to start the third quarter here.
Drops down to the ground. Gunnar Wilhelm would have laid the hit had he not have dropped down. He was the first one in there ready to do so. And Highland, who's looking much improved right now from the way they started the season last year in the Rocky Mountain Rumble. You know, it's been quite a clean game. We've had a couple penalties, but nothing out of control. You know, been more typical of what you're going to see in a game.
Back to pass is Jackson, just slings it out into the flat to Flores. Flores stepped out of bounds at the 30.
He did, and the next one that could have potentially, sent him out of bounds was Sabanma. He was right there, as well as Wilhelm. He stepped out on his own, so no official tackle registered on that play.
Ball at the 30-yard line. It's enough for a first down, though. It's about a 15-yard gain or so, 13. And it'll be 1st and 10, although the down marker says 2nd over there. Again, out into the flat to Flores. This time, he's not going anywhere.
Yeah, taken down in the backfield, and he was taken down by Adam Jones, and then Adam Jones's teammate came in, and the biggest hit was his teammate on him.
And Flores hurt a little bit as he stays down on the ground. There was a flag as well on the play.
And I didn't see the flag come.
Shot block right at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
That's a big loss if Flores leaves this game and doesn't return. He has been a dynamic player on offense specifically.
Well, and defense.
Well, defensively,
he's played very well as well.
He's got the touchdown thus far, and he's just all over the field.
So to recap what has happened so far in the Rocky Mountain Rumble, yesterday we started out with Marsh Valley and Beaver, Utah. That was such an absolutely tight game. Came down to a final play to determine the winner of that. 21-20, Beaver won that. That's a Beaver team that has not lost since 2018, in November of 2018. And 20-3 is what Morgan knocked off Sugar. And then last night, tell us about that Skyline Green Canyon game.
Yeah, it just was wild. Skyline up 15-0 in the first half. Then, Green Canyon scores in the third quarter. Then they score late with about 4 minutes left. They end up getting another stop and block a punt that bounces all the way back to the 5-6 yard line. From there, a couple plays, they bring on the punt crew with like 9 seconds left, clock running, and end up kicking a field goal to win it.
With about a half a second on the clock by the time it was actually snapped, and it was legit. Completely legit. And, of course, this morning, Lehigh, Utah played a fantastic game and beat Coeur d'Alene. Coeur d'Alene did not score an offensive touchdown in that game. It was a defensive pick six. But then Pocatello just throttled Ogden 49-0. Ogden that had scored 31 and 21 in previous games this year already. And then, of course, we got the Highland Alta game going on right now, and Madison and Bear River coming up next.
Here goes Jackson on the run. He's not going to get to the sticks, but almost gets back to the original line of scrimmage. It's going to be 3rd and about 11, maybe 12, actually. Homerio on the previous play with a nice run to get back a lot more of those yards on the shot block penalty. But it's still 3rd and long here as we're 10:35 left in the third.
Both quarterbacks for their respective teams are seniors. Some underclassmen backups as well.
Man in motion. That's Turner. Back to pass. And it's going to go. They had a man open. It was number 12, but it was at his feet. Jensen Campbell was the intended receiver.
And it actually, I think it got just slightly tipped at the line by Highland's number 48, Sloan Lamson. I think just slightly tipped that at the line.
That would make a little more sense because that was about 3 yards shy of Jensen Campbell.
Yeah, and then his teammates came over and were giving him 5 like he did, so that very well could have been the case.
So the punt crew out. They get away the punt. Nice, beautiful punt, booming punt. It might get into no, it takes a turn. What a punt.
On the 1 yard line. That has been the absolute kick of the Rocky Mountain Rumble right there.
That was, he kicked that at about the 20-yard line.
He did. The ball was on the 20-yard line. It was 4th and 12 from the 20. And he actually kicked it from more around the 10, where it actually came off his foot.
A booming punt that takes a bounce and then takes a nice little left turn as it was rolling down towards the goal line.
Well, more impressive even than the bounce was the amount of time it spent in the air, the distance it covered. That was pro level.
Yeah, we've been talking about Ian Hershey. How about the kicker Carter Bell on that punt? That was phenomenal.
The last time Highland was down in this position, things did not go well. We're going to get a pass interference, and that's going to move them out and give them some breathing room, as number 8, Christian Thomas, was all over him defensively, never acknowledged the ball and was making contact. And if you're not going to acknowledge the ball, you better not be making any contact.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's almost the best play, honestly, that could have happened right there, because that'll give them 15 yards outside and a lot more room to work, as they were stuck right inside the 1 after that beautiful
It's
punt.
going to be on the 16 and the right hash mark, and this is typically when it's been here. We've seen Highland with a run to the outside is typically what we've been seeing in this scenario. We do have three left and 1 right.
Little delay handoff to, that is Eli Parrish all the way out to the 40-yard line. A big run for Parrish.
And Jensen Campbell finally forces him out of bounds, but it wasn't on a tackle. It was just a force out. No official tackle recorded on that play.
So from being inside your own 1, 2 plays later, they're out at the 40 with a 1st and 10, 9:48 on the clock here for the Highland Rams on offense.
The Highland team that already has a lead, 9-7.
Jack Whitmer in the gun. Option, keeps it himself, and gets tripped up after maybe a yard, maybe 2.
Yeah, and it looked like it might have even just been the turf monster that got him on that. I don't know if anybody officially touched him till after he went down.
Was that dang yellow soccer line out there?
Yes, it was. Ruining the fields of those soccer lines.
Whatever that circle's for. I don't even know what that circle's for.
Well, that's where they start, you know.
Well, why is it so big? The ball's small. And do you have to have 2 people inside and everybody else has to be outside the circle? Okay. Well, there we go. See, that's good for me. I learned some soccer stuff today.
I am not a knowledgeable soccer person either.
That ball knocked away at the last minute. Good play there from number 12.
Yeah, it was a great pass, but Jensen just better defense that time as Campbell Jensen comes in and gets the knockdown. We've called his name a lot tonight. He's a senior DB for the Alta Hawks.
So 3rd down now and 8 for the Rams. 9 minutes here. I don't mind watching soccer, but I about the only rule I kind of understand is the offsides rule. That's about it.
That's the part I don't understand. I can't figure it out. That's the same with hockey. I just can't figure that out.
Did it come out? A flag comes in late.
Yeah, what it is it was not a fumble. Therefore, the guy who dove on it afterwards
is going to get a
late hit. Yep.
That's a tough play because I think they did think it was a fumble, but had whistles blown.
Well, and you're schooled to jump on the ball. When you see it loose there, you take it. But it ended up being of the late hit variety. I really wouldn't be surprised if they ended up pulling this flag, and they did. Nope, they did not.
That's a tough penalty, I feel like, and I'm sure Alta not thrilled about the call.
No,
but it's going to give him a 1st down. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
It would have been 4th down and long, and now it's a 1st down.
And it's not just a 1st down; it's a 15-yarder. You know, which makes things a little bit different because that one was 15 yards from the spot that it took place. I was really, really surprised.
Yeah, 30 yards and penalties on this drive alone. 2 1st downs. Down the field, they've got a man, caught him in stride. Touchdown, Highland, Raymond Barella. What a throw, caught him in stride, and Barella got behind the defense, and touchdown Rams. Great pass from Jack Whitmer. And those penalties prove costly there as the score, as the result.
Well, and he ended up with Liava on him, who's a linebacker, and that was the speed advantage, but on a switch, that's what it ended up with, and just able to create some space there. And that's a dream for a wide receiver is get switched with the linebacker.
And score is good, and I think we're going to have a roughing the kicker penalty on top of it.
Yep, that will be assessed on the kickoff, which really irrelevant because Hershey's going to put it back to the end zone anyway.
Correct.
So I'd
they're
really
gonna
like,
wave it off,
they're going to wave it
actually.
off. I would like to see that exacted a little different anyway, because it's really oftentimes no punishment for the team that did it.
Yeah.
Because in most scenarios nowadays, the ball's going back into the end zone.
How about this? If you do have that penalty and it does end up being a touchback, it's a 5-yard penalty assessed. So instead of a touchback to the 20, it's at the 15.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a personal foul penalty. My thought is to assess it as a personal foul penalty. So you come out to the 20, and ultimately now you're on the 35. Almost like a kick that goes out of bounds.
Sure.
I think it's everywhere.
Well,
the same penalty
it'd
to
be
that.
back to the 5 actually in that scenario, because it's going to go against the receiving team. In this scenario, the penalty would have gone against the receiving team.
Yeah.
So now we have a flag that's coming across. That's going to be a sideline warning.
Yeah, and you're right. I was thinking of that backwards. So really what you would do is you'd go back to the 5. Yeah, you'd exact it from the 20 back to the 5 if it was a touchback.
So this is either going to be a sideline warning or just a sideline warning. So it wasn't the, hey, I'm done listening to you.
Well, and the way
unsportsmanlike penalty.
And the way they motion it, you get to show your muscles off. It's sideline warning.
I thought that was just like a duck flap.
That's right. He's been doing it for years. He goes, that was a chop block.
First down's the same direction as the weight room.
Let's see. Hey, guys, come over here.
Yeah. 8:34 left here. 16-7 the lead.
Hercules is sporting the sweet glasses the last couple years, too.
Turner with a nice return all the way out to the 30-yard line from the goal line.
Just put Ree before his name, and he is the Ree Turner.
I was hoping his name was going to be Jack.
Guys, sorry. We are. This is our third game in today. Still with one to go, so the jokes just get cheesier and cheesier. It's like staying up late at night, and you watch a show that's not even funny, but it appears funny the more tired you get. And you watch it a few days later, and you're like, what the heck was I thinking?
Yeah, why did
Some
I
kind of
waste-
moron. I laughed at that. I can't stand it now.
Handoff, nowhere to run, maybe a yard gain right to the 30 from the 29. It'll be 2nd and 9 with 8:15 left here in the third quarter.
Got a little gimp out there by Noah Flores.
Yeah,
He's
he is.
getting back into the huddle.
And he's asking for a substitute.
Oh,
Flores
Sabona
was hurt. He was the guy that was hurt earlier.
He was. We paused play for a moment to get him off the field.
Might be the same injury kind of bothering him again. Maybe tweaked an ankle or something of that nature. Jackson, complete, and a flag. They're going to call holding, I think. Well, unless he was signaling that it was a completed catch.
Yeah, and that, I was wondering if maybe he was going to call it on the offense for just a moment. I saw
Like a
couple of
push-off type scenario.
I saw a couple of the coaches seemed pretty upset. Well, let's say how they exact the penalty here.
It is defensive
it is
holding
defensive.
prior to him coming out of his route there.
So kudos on the catch, plus 10 yards for the hold.
Yep, from that spot. So now it's first down all the way out to the 45. As they come to the line of scrimmage, try to get set here. Under center goes Ethan Jackson. Pitch back to number 30 on the run. That is Helam Jones, and Jones goes nowhere.
Well, and
back
great
to the line of
defensive coverage
scrimmage.
by Fulmer. We called his name several times tonight. The outside linebacker, just a junior, gets out there and chases him down and stayed strong on that route. I'd like to know what his 40 time is because he was pretty dang quick closing out on that and had to do it at an angle.
It was nice watching number 58, the big tackle there on the line, walk next to number 30, Jones. There is a significant height discrepancy between those two.
Yeah, there is. Taliafi Ta'ala.
He's a big guy.
In fact, at halftime, CJ came back up here and says, hey, 58 for them. He is a big, tall kid. He'd walk down by the field.
So the ball ripped free on the sack attempt. It pops out and recovered by number 11 for the Rams, Colton George. The linebacker falls on it. And it's first down after the turnover. And the Rams back in business. Business. A little bit of college football that's gone on today as well.
Yeah, the first score of the season, the first official score of the season was a safety on a punt, of all things.
What a move there by Jackson Schumann. Another man misses him, and he's finally forced out of bounds at the 10-yard line.
Well, and finally, Isaac Yaramillo, the junior DB, takes him out of bounds. Otherwise, that was going to be another 6 points up on the board for the Highland Rams. By the way, the Highland Rams and the Rams down in Utah, the Highland Rams down there as well, have played each other before. And they are both the Rams. The difference is Utah Rams are black and red, and the Highland Rams the Idaho Rams are black and red, where the Utah ones are black and yellow.
Glad I wasn't on that game.
Yeah.
All the way to the end zone. Did he get in? No. They're going to say he was down. Was Whitmer. Nearly got to the end zone, down inside the 1. First and goal.
They're going to call it second down, and now
or second and goal.
Yeah, they're actually sending Barella into the game, and it makes me think they're probably going to give him the ball because I don't think they're going to use Barella as a blocker in this scenario.
Parrish, now it's a keeper. I don't think it's going anywhere.
Yeah, Barella actually became a decoy in that scenario.
Did they blow it dead before? No, there's the signal. Touchdown from the far side official.
Yeah, and Alta's going to look and say, hey, you didn't give that to us on the other end. Yeah, Highland is, of course, a movie made about their rugby programs. Is Larry Gelwicks. Larry's actually a friend of mine, and he is the coach that was highlighted in that series, or in that movie. That was the Highland program. Interestingly enough, their home field, as filmed in the movie, was done at Springville High School down in Utah County. They took the big S off the side of the building. And then Larry Gelwex went to be an LDS mission president in Fresno, California, before coming back. And each Saturday, you can hear a radio show of his highlighting vacation travel up through Utah and Idaho. The famous Larry Gelwex. Of course, Star Tulele, famous NFL player, played at Snow College and the University of Utah. Played on those rugby teams for Gelwex at Highland High School.
Played for the Panthers.
Yep.
Played for the Panthers.
Yeah. And
Josh said.
And, of course, a lot of those football players would cross over. Pretty much all of them that would play rugby would play football. Not all of them that played football played rugby, but rugby was a spring sport down there in Utah. And it's a club sport technically down there, where football is a UHSAA sport.
So a little bit of an offensive explosion here from Highland in this second half. They've scored twice. 5:51 left here in the third quarter, and they're up 23-7 just like that over Alta. That one aided by the turnover from the Hawks. spirit fingers up from the Highland cheerleaders. And it helps will the ball into the end zone for a touchback.
Good kick again. A little bit of wind is picked up, not much, but enough to raise the flag just a little bit. Again, our flag flying at half mast, half staff, due to the unfortunate loss of lives of many people. In this case, the flag is lowered because of our Marines that died in a blast over in Kabul.
Yeah, one of them from here, not too far away,
Jackson, Wyoming. Yeah, we saw that, and of course our. The owner of IdahoSports.com, Paul Kingsbury, has some interest in that. He has a son that's a Marine as well.
In the Army, actually.
Or yeah, in the Army. Pardon me, in the Army.
Caught in the backfield for a tackle for loss. He's going to lose a yard or two is Homerio.
Yeah, it is Colvin. It was 50, Cody Colvin, the defensive end that ended up with the tackle on that play. And your score 23-7. Highland.
The Highland defense really stepped up here, forcing turnovers, giving their offense a good shot to extend this lead. And now Alta's got to answer quickly here. Throw outside too far for the outstretched arms of Christian Thomas.
When you had Adam Jones right there, the corner, waiting for him. However, you know, when you have an opportunity to pick up just a quick 5 like that without being pressured, those are tough to swallow.
So third and 12, excuse me. Across the middle, it's complete. Going to be for a first down. Nice catch by Jensen Campbell.
Yeah, just as you said, third and 12. They go to number 12 on the play. Yeah, Lucas Barker in on the tackle to bring him down, but not before the first down takes place.
A good amount of Highland fans here, as well as probably a smattering of Madison fans already here.
Yeah, you're going to get some, first of all, because they've got to play each other this year. They're in that District 5-6.
They also play after this ball game. And a handful of Alta fans across the way as well. Of course, they get the lovely seats in the sun in their face, and somebody with a poster over there of a head that's covering the sun for them. Another person not watching, hiding behind a umbrella. Nice catch down the sideline once again from Jensen Campbell.
Campbell with an excellent job, and there was great coverage on there from Highland, from Sabonma, as well as number 25, Barker. It was just a great catch. Another one of those where the ball had to be placed where only your guy could get it, or it was going to be tough to thread that in there.
Yeah, beautiful throw from Ethan Jackson. Now into Ram territory. That ball, again, just not perfectly placed, but dropped.
Well, and I think what happened is I think it ended up kind of getting lost in the sun for Christian Thomas as he was looking over to the west, and it kind of hit him, and I didn't think I don't know if he had the depth perception on it, just knew it was coming his direction.
So it'll be 2nd and 10 now from the 42-yard line. Handoff right up the middle to Homerio, and he's going to barrel forward for about 8, maybe 9 yards to bring up 3rd and short. With 4:06 left here in the third quarter, Alta driving, trying to close the gap a little bit here as it's 23-7 Highland.
Well, Yaramio's been a good runner today. He's been steady. He picks up that consistent, 3-4 yards. Hard count.
Handoff again to Yaramio, and he's got more room to run, still on his feet, and finally tackled out about the 22-yard line.
Yeah, got the, they were 3rd and 11 essentially, and he picked up that plus about another 10. Good lateral movement on that play as well. I believe in that scenario, I think it was actually, if I'm thinking right, he was actually, this is Anson Yaramio, with it. And then you have Isaac Yaramio as well, who's number 6.
That is down the field, and 2 flags come in. I don't know. Maybe they were definitely jostling down the field.
Well, they were, but again, if contact's made, and as the defender, if you don't acknowledge the ball, you're going to get that called.
Yeah, and you're right. He didn't whip his head around, so pass interference, so that'll give him a first down, as well as better field position as they're going to be down.
Yeah. And, of course, the problem is, though, if you don't make the contact, you might be giving up the touchdown as well. So sometimes you're better off with that, particularly if they've got a good jump on you.
Down to the 12-yard line, 1st and 10. Alta driving and putting together a nice drive here toward the end of the third quarter. 3 minutes left here on the game clock for the quarter. Hand off to Anson Armamio, and he gets down to the 5.
Wilhelm as well as Roberts, number 42, in on that tackle. Roberts a senior, Wilhelm a senior. Quite a few seniors on both these teams. We had some teams earlier, specifically looking at Skyline yesterday, as well as Green Canyon and Utah. They just had a lot of juniors that were contributors. Bodes well for that next year. That, of course, was the ending of the ending of the Rocky Mountain Review as far as how it ended.
Ethan Jackson went to turn the hand off and got hit immediately. Lucky to hang on to the ball, actually. Tackled back around the 8-yard line.
Yeah, Sloan Lamson, the defensive lineman, got in there awfully quick. He's not super tall, but I'll tell you what, he is wide, and he is a tough load.
He didn't come in like a Lamson. He came in like a lion on that one.
That's right.
Here goes Jackson, room to run up the middle, taking on a tackler, dives for the end zone.
Yeah, he's going to be just about a yard short or a half yard short, but that's going to be a first down, I believe, for them. So 1st and goal from the half-yard line, not a bad place to be.
Well, they've been in this position once before and got turned away. We'll see what Highland can do here with a goal line stand. And they tried to run it up the middle pretty much every time last time. I wouldn't be surprised to see a little something to the outside here from Alta. The Hawks trying to go in. 1:40 left here in the quarter. Man in motion. It's Amarillo. He gets tripped up in the backfield and
probably
down
loses
short.
A half yard, takes it back from the half to the 1-yard line. And in on the play, Colton George defensively. Got a player coming off the field with a little bit of a stinger. It looks like Gunnar Wilhelm, a little bit of a stinger on his arm, but yeah, you hit that funny bone or something that can mess you up just a little bit.
So they've got Amarillo and Jones in the I think that is Jones in the backfield. There's Amarillo trying to get to the side.
It's down again, gets
Turned
knocked down
away.
again. And I'll tell you what, if Highland was to get another stop here, that would be 2 times that they have stopped right on the goal line when the ball was inside the 1-yard line.
And this ball is literally, a shadow of that ball is sitting on the goal line. So they're as close as they can be without being in.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if they just do a big push with Jackson.
They aren't bunched up. They're going to turn around, hand it to the fullback, touchdown. No question that time.
Good call.
Yeah, very good call there as he'll go in for the touchdown. And now it's 23-13. Ian Smith on the carry. Number 35, the fullback, the junior fullback with the carry.
Well, we got a 10-point game, 23-13. Not out of stretch by any means for Alta. However, even with this extra point, it will be a 2-possession game. I'm really surprised they're not going for 2 right here and try to make it 15-23. Then they could get a touchdown plus a 2-point conversion. Maybe they're planning on a fake here, don't know.
Push it to 9, and that's blocked. And that is the end of the try. Number 27, I believe, is who got his hand on it.
Yeah, he got in there also. Also number 40 that does not show up on our roster for Highland was in there as well. And, I'm really surprised they did not go for 2 there. Again, you go to 14, you're 9 points down. You have to have 2 possessions to tie up a ball game. You go for, which, you stay at 13. That really doesn't hurt you that much more. It's the same thing where you go for 2. And if you do get it, at least you're just a touchdown and a 2-point conversion away.
Well,
I just
either
think
way,
you got to go with the mathematical odds there. I think that was like playing blackjack and hitting when you're at 17.
What, is that a bad thing? Are you not supposed to hit when you're at 17?
It's not one of the better decisions.
No wonder I never win at that game. A kickoff coming from Alta after they score a touchdown. 26 seconds left in the quarter. Or I'll stick around for the finish of this quarter and we'll step away for a quick break. But a good quarter here. A couple scores from Highland and then now a score from Alta as they draw a little closer. Low kickoff going to hit and bounce into the back of the end zone.
That's good. Just to let it go back through. Nothing wrong with that. Faux show.
So Highland will get the ball here with 26 seconds. We'll see what they opt to do with the little time left here. There's the District 6 football commissioner, Dan Andresen, in the hizzle to watch some football. Hey, of course, the District 6 officials will be officiating this next game for the Madison Bobcats. Back to pass. Whitmer gets it to Eli Parrish, excuse me, and for a first down. Clock will, should have stopped.
14 seconds.
And, now they finally do stop it. There were 2 or 3 seconds that ran off before that ball got set.
Yeah, and I don't see the officials huddling up to
now
add
it's
any
running.
more. Yeah, and they're just going to let it run out.
Yeah, they'll switch ends here at the end of the third. They'll head to the other.
Yeah,
you
can't afford, in a game 23-13, you can't afford to waste a play.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, no sense of rushing this play and potentially wasting it. Let's have some time to know exactly what we're doing.
It'll be first down for the Rams when we come back here on IdahoSports.com. It's the 2021 Rocky Mountain Rumble. We'll be back.
Ads like this keep popping up, but I see through the hype because those vape clouds people claim are just water vapor contain as many as 31 different chemicals, like formaldehyde, the stuff they preserve dead bodies with. And while the flavors sound all harmless, we still have no idea what these ingredients could be doing to our bodies. But I already see vaping for exactly what it is. Get the real facts at BehindTheHaze.com.
Welcome back here as we get the first play of the fourth quarter just underway. A 5-yard gain on the carry.
Calvin Liava'a comes in, the inside linebacker, and makes the tackle. Keeps it at just a 4-yard gain.
2nd and 6 upcoming. Just underway once again here in the fourth quarter.
I'm really impressed with both these teams. I think both these teams have, some significant opportunities to have a very, very good season.
Inside handoff to Turner. He finds some space. And
yeah, and that is going to be on Highland, I believe. That's going to be a personal foul penalty.
You think so, or just holding?
I think so. I think that's going to be a personal foul penalty on Bruce Gallo.
And it looked like they were getting to know each other fairly well down there.
Yeah, and then a personal foul. Yep.
Yeah, they stuck them with both of them.
Of course, it'll only be the one that's exacted, which will be, of course, the personal foul penalty at 15 yards.
Let's just add them on. Make it 25.
Well, and I'm always one that has felt like this. I don't like the half the distance to the goal, and unless you can't exact the whole penalty. I say exact the whole penalty as long as you have yardage, because if it doesn't hurt enough, people continue to do it. And if you really want to clear up a lot of fouls that take place, exact the whole penalty.
Well, it must have happened behind the line of scrimmage.
It did. It did. It was way back behind it.
Yeah, and I don't know, are personal fouls, they're not really marked off as part of.
Well, that particular one was spot.
Is it a spot foul on a?
Well, you know what? They might have actually gone with the holding on that because it was further back. Yeah,
that could be.
Yeah, I mean, you had a 5-yard benefit, by taking the personal foul penalty, but that would have gone from the line of scrimmage.
Yeah. It did look like half the distance, didn't it? So all by himself, Jack Whitmer, they sling it out into the flat. It's caught, and not much doing, though. Barillo with the carry.
And
or with the catch.
Barraza with the tackle. Oh, he was quick. He read that play from beginning to end, and he was right there ready to pounce for sure.
3rd and 26. A nice manageable 26 here. 10:48 left on the clock here in the 4th quarter. Highland hanging on to a 10-point lead. Yeah, it would be a big stop here on 3rd down because it would flip field position a bit. Back to pass. Whitmer gets rid of it. It's high, caught. Going to get back near the original line of scrimmage, but that'll be it. Yeah. So they'll give him a little more room to kick this away.
Yeah, it gives him a little better punt position, and, of course, we know what kind of punting that Hershey can do for him. However, don't know if it's potentially going to match what Sutton did. That fantastic kick.
Yeah, he did have.
Pardon me, Bell. Carter Bell.
Carter Bell, yeah.
Not Sutton. Carter
yeah, about
Bell.
A 70-yard punt down inside the 1. And it wasn't even downed by anyone. It just died there.
Well, it was thought that it was going into the end zone. I think everyone in the stadium did, and all of a sudden it took a left-hand turn and thought it was in NASCAR. Just kind of stopped there on the 1-yard line.
A little high, but Hershey gets it off. End-over-end punt going to be returnable from the 30. Cut back inside. Room to run here, and now knocked down at the 45-yard line. So a good return on a good punt.
Mason Summerell, the senior guard who also plays on special teams, comes up and gets the tackle.
But they're into Ram territory.
They are, and you know, and again, you start looking at this. You're in the 4th quarter. You got 9.5 minutes left, so there's plenty of game. But you start looking at that, you know, decision not to go for 2. And again, you're not guaranteed the 2.
Yeah.
But mathematically, it wouldn't have hurt you to miss it, but it would have helped you to have got it.
And as it was, the PAT got blocked anyways.
Yeah.
So here we go, man in motion. They're going down the field. It's for Jensen Campbell, knocked away.
Woo. I'll tell you, Adam Jones with the fantastic defense on that play, because without that, Yaramillo is going to pull that in for a touchdown. There's no question he's going to pull that in for a touchdown. Yeah. Pardon me, that's Campbell,
yeah,
Jensen Campbell. My bad, but yeah, he's been pretty special all day long.
And a good route run from him. A long jog back to his spot on the line. And it's 2nd and 10. 9:26 left in the ball game. A little delay handoff right up the middle. Good room, and then stood up after about a 5-yard gain just across the 40.
You know, it should be noted that number 42, Calvin Liava'a, the inside linebacker, whose name we've called quite a bit for Alta today, is actually only a freshman.
Wow. I hadn't looked at that. So we'll say a 4-yard gain. It's 3rd and 6 to go here now. Back to pass. Got a receiver off the fingers and incomplete of Boston Blanco.
And I'll tell you what, Mason Fulmer was awfully lucky that was not caught, because he would have had a difficult time. The receiver had already spread out on him, and he'd have had a difficult time if that had been caught in stride, continuing with him, without at least giving up some significant yardage to do so.
They are lined up to go for it here at 4th and 6. See, maybe they try to draw on a hard count to get a few more yards. See how disciplined Highland is on that defensive line. They snap it. Back to pass. And it is intended once again for Jensen Campbell, off his hands. It got tipped, I think, a little as well.
Yeah, well, it did. Gunnar Wilhelm got in there and tipped it. He jumped that passing route deep and did an excellent job, because that's a risk. Because if you don't tip that, that's probably a 6-point play right there.
You're watching Campbell run in for a touchdown. As it is, it's a turnover on downs, so the Highland Rams come up with a defensive stop. They'll take over at their own 39-yard line. 1st and 10, Now 8:40 left in the ball game. Delay handoff, nowhere to go.
Yeah.
For
And
Parrish.
that delayed handoff has actually worked fairly well for them in this game. Just didn't there. It was completely read out. You end up with a 2-yard loss on the play. And again, this game has not been decided by any stretch of the imagination. This is a game that's got a lot of time left in it and a lot of things that can still happen.
And it is 2nd and 12. Man in motion's Jackson Schumann. Screenplay, blockers, and Eli Parrish out of bounds after about a 7-8 yard gain.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Parrish, he didn't realize that he had the lane to the right. He just his man was just too big. You know, he just couldn't see over it. He ends up going left and being pushed out of bounds. But had he have gone right, I think he could have probably got another 5 to 7 yards out of that play.
So it's going to be 3rd and 5 upcoming as we just roll under 8 minutes left to go in this game at 7:59.
Well, I think we had a false start. That was, yeah, the Alta fans or the Alta players and coaching staff didn't like that much. That was fairly obvious, and players had already set as well. Not here. Nope. Well, except for on that play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
4th down. I don't see Hershey yet out on the field. Oh, he is out there. Sorry, he was out of the huddle.
Yeah, when with a tight game like this, this is not going to be go for it territory, especially when you got a kid that can punt.
A timeout taken by Highland. Oh. Yeah,
well, you know what I'm thinking here? I think they're good because he's a kid that can place his kicks. I think they might tell him, go ahead and let's send this to one of the sidelines a little bit. You know, try to angle it. Let's not get any return on this. Let's make sure that they're going the full length of the field or a big chunk of the field. Let's not give them a chance to run back.
I think our local sponsors, Satterfield Realty and Development, Lava Hot Springs, a huge thanks to both of them for sponsoring this IdahoSports.com game stream production of East Idaho Game Night. And that our presenting sponsor is Teton Auto Group. Our major sponsors make coverage on IdahoSports.com possible, include your local Toyota dealer, Toyota, Let's Go Places, Valleywide Co-op, and Country Stores and Project Filter. Idaho Fights Tobacco.
We've been partners with Teton for a long time.
And remember, stay tuned for the post-game show. That's coming up pretty quick.
Well, they also switched to snapping it to him. They've got number 11 out there snapping the ball to him, which is Colton George. He's an outside linebacker on defense.
Hershey, nice spiral high punt. Gonna put him to the sideline, but he gets away. Turner gets away down the far sideline, and he's got blockers. Still on the run, and now he's going to get caught up too. A good job by the defense for Highland to track him down.
Yeah, Colton Snedden, the tight end, wide receiver, the senior ends up stopping it. I'll tell you what, that is exactly what Highland did not want to happen. And for, you know, that's, again, anytime you gain something, you give something up. And anytime, you know, they gained something by going to the sideline. But what they gave up was the other side of the field in order to do it if the blocking scheme is right.
Yeah, they couldn't quite contain him on that sideline. Good Highland. And now a good field position, 1st and 40 at the 43. Well over the head of Turner.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Turner, Jace Turner, he did have some yards ahead of him. Had he been able to catch that, because he ended up with the outside linebacker Fulmer on him. Yeah, I mean, you know, comparing these two quarterbacks, I think Whitmer has had the better game between him and Jackson. His accuracy has been quite a bit better. And Jackson's got a good arm. It's not for lack of strength.
And now Jackson sacked in the backfield by number 40, for the Highland Rams.
Yeah, and we do not have 40 on our roster. I don't know if that's Eli Anderton, who's actually number 41. I can't see a 41 down there, and because of that, yeah, there is. But that's Sloan Lamson. We've seen Sloan quite a bit. Sloan Lamson. Yeah, then that could be him.
A nice play nonetheless to make it 3rd and long, 3rd and 13 now. Jackson rushed again. Lamson flushed him out of the pocket. And now he's going to get tackled at the line of scrimmage. It'll bring up 4th down and long, and we'll have another punt. Well, maybe. They may opt to go for it. No, they're going to punt away.
Yeah, I think with 6.5 minutes,
early.
you still got all 3 of your timeouts. I think you take the safe route here and punt it. I still am thinking that the 2-point conversion,
yeah.
could have taken place.
So 4th and 13. Punter standing. That's.
And it's over his head.
Taking a nice Highland roll. Picks it up, and now he's on the run. Kicks it away with his left foot.
Wow.
Hey, and now it takes a nice bounce. It's a lot better than it could have been. A good job by the kicker.
That's one of the plays of the Rocky Mountain Review right there, or the Rocky Mountain Rumble.
Yeah, Carter Bell just saved a ton of field position there.
For Rocky Mountain Rumble. The Rocky Mountain Review was, of course, the original NBA summer tournament that the Utah Jazz started back in the day. Now you got a lot of them. I said review, and it's the Rumble up
Where
here.
did that come from? I've never even heard of that.
Well, back in the day, so this is when Danny Ainge was playing in the league. He wasn't playing for the Jazz, but he'd come back to Utah during the summer, so they started this league called the Rocky Mountain Review.
Okay.
And some of the new players who had been drafted and other guys would come in and play in that, and then it kind of turned into a summer tournament. Now you have all these summer tournaments around for the NBA, but it all started with the Rocky Mountain Review.
Very interesting. Handoff up the middle. Big shot at the end of it, but he's going to pick up about 5. Out to the 47-yard line. 2nd and 5 for the Highland Rams.
Akoi in on that tackle. Like just a sophomore. They list him as a DB, but he's actually been lining up as a linebacker most of this game, if not all of it.
2nd and 5.
Now he's a D end.
Man in motion. Mr. Jack Whitmer takes it himself on the carry and gets right to the first down sticks. That's going to be a first down.
Yeah, Medina and William Johnson, they were in on the tackle for Alta.
And they're going to
measure that.
Nope, first down.
Respot.
They just wanted to get it at the actual side judge who was marking the spot.
If it's outside of the hash, if it's outside of the hash mark, you're going to move it to the hash mark on that side of the field. If it's between the hash marks, then you move it to wherever the ball came down at.
I think they just wanted to make sure that it was actually a first down. It was. So now 4:38 left. Highland happy to run some clock here.
Reminder, Highland has 2 timeouts. Alta has all 3.
That handoff nearly didn't happen, and it turned out pretty good as Cade Jones takes it for about 6 or 7 yards. That kind of got, that handoff was a little bit bobbled between the two of them.
Yeah, Rindelsbach in on that tackle as well for Alta.
Highland continues to be able to move the ball when they need to, and they continue to work the clock here as it rolls under 4 minutes.
I'm looking at Cannon Matthews down there, number 84, the tight end, defensive end senior for Alta. That kid's got to go 6'6".
First down and more on the run, and finally tripped up for a first down out to the 25-yard line.
Yeah, Jensen Campbell finally brought him down.
It's Jackson Schumann on the reception and run. All down to the 27 officially. 1st and 10 for the Rams. Highland looking good in their opening game. Looking good. Like they should. We go, a little pitch to Parrish. Parrish trying to turn the corner is not going to get much.
Brought down by Christian Thomas.
Clock still running as he didn't actually get out of bounds.
Yeah, they pulled him down, stopped that progression beforehand, and you know, if you're Alta at this point, you got to start using those timeouts. You're down under 3 minutes to go. You got 3 of them left, and you have to have 2 scores. You have to have 2 possessions to be able to win this ball game.
2nd and 9. You might see one here if they get to a 3rd down.
And after last night's game with Green Canyon and Skyline, we don't count anybody out as long as the game is somewhat close.
Whitmer, a little bit of misdirection on that play, and Whitmer picks up almost another first down. It's going to be 3rd and 1, and now a timeout taken by Alta.
2:20 left in the ball game.
Well, remember, join us after the game for the post-game show, and we'll name our IdahoSports.com player of the game, and join Idaho Sports Nation as well on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Get updates, breaking news, pictures, and more. Just click the icons in the top left to follow us now. And check out the Prepcast, something we've done a little Prepcast in the future. This year it's been expanded to a regional Prepcast, so we've got multiple people, one person from each district, taking on the news and the sports and the topics of that district each week, including the 8-man football being covered by Mr. Kingsbury himself. That all hosted by Brandon Bainey, our sports information director.
We now see Bear River and Madison starting to warm up, or at least Bear River. And, of course, this game we have teams with the same colors, black and red. And in our next game we have red and white, both teams.
White. I sure hope Madison has their jerseys on that you can actually see.
Yeah, a few years ago, there were jerseys that even the officials couldn't tell what they were.
Well, actually, they're saying false start.
Yeah, they're going to say a false
well,
start.
The far side official showed false start. Everybody else showed.
Yeah, I think this might actually be against Highland's number 57, Ian Allen.
So everybody, all of the officials except for the far side line judge thought it was encroachment, and the far side line judge says, well, hold on a minute, I think we got a false start. So we'll see what the call is. 2 fouls. So that's not 2 calls on the play. That's actually just one
that's
call.
Just one call on the play.
Yeah, that's a false start. The other one is a non-factor.
We got 2 shots on the play. One was a miss and one was a make.
Yeah, only one counts.
Well, sometimes the officials get tired too.
Oh yeah, and that's that's
we've
just
had
a
very
verbiage
good,
mix-up. Yeah, these guys have done a great job. We're just poking a little fun here.
Very good officiated Rocky Mountain Review overall. Yeah, I spent years officiating. You officiate, and now we joke with each other. In fact, there's times we'll leave a game and say, "Geez, what a moron call I made."
Yeah, and our fellow officials are quick to point that out for us as well.
That's right.
Handoff up the middle. He's going to get stopped.
Initial one out there was Tate Medina for Alta. Yeah, as an official, and I just tell people all the time, being an official is no different than being a coach or a player. You know when you've had a bad game. You know when you've had a good game. You know when you've had a bad call. And just like coaches, they drive home every night and
stew about it.
Think, man, I wish I'd have called this play or substituted this play or done that. Well, officials are the same way. They get better by critiquing themselves and looking and saying, you know what, if I had this to do over again, I'd have probably done it this way or that way. And so it's really no different. Players, coaches, officials all go through the same thing.
In a basketball game, you're on the floor maybe hour and a half as an official. And I feel like after I'm home, I spend about that same amount of time at least depending on the scenario, thinking about, okay, what did we do? What could have we have done?
That's right.
Sometimes you have a game where it just flows pretty smoothly, and most of the time that's not because of you, that's because of the play.
Yeah.
And so you get home and you get to bed pretty quick, but other times it's not the case.
Well, and everyone in pretty much all aspects of the game, if you got a job at the game, you do that. I mean, maybe not the chain gang. I don't think someone drives home and says, you know what, I wish I'd have held that in my left hand instead of my right hand. But
not many judgment calls out there from the chain gang right now.
Yeah, I wish I'd have been more fluid in that run when I went out there to check that first
not,
down.
Did not pull that quite as tight as it should have been.
Just joking, of course. They have a very important job, very good job, as now
Hershey with a deep field goal. It's low.
That looks
but
good.
It's
that
on
like
the
it was
mark,
right through the middle.
on the money. A 40-yarder knocked in by Ian Hershey.
Boy, that was down in the area where it could potentially be blocked.
Yes.
If you're not careful, and extends it out, 26-13.
2:06 left here in the ball game, and it's a 13-point lead. So they need 2 touchdowns and a PAT to tie this thing up. And they only got 2 minutes to do it.
Coming up, Bear River is hosted by Madison, who's hosted this entire Rocky Mountain Rumble.
Yeah, huge thanks to Shane Proctor for getting the facilities and making sure the facilities are good here. He's the athletic director here at Madison High School. Of course, Gino Mariani, the head coach for the Highland Rams, is a big part of the Rocky Mountain Rumble and really has kind of spearheaded it for years.
Yeah.
So thanks to him as well.
Used to be held down in the Mini Dome, or Holt Arena. Mini Dome when I was growing up. Holt Arena now. Home field of Idaho State University. And it has been also the home field of Pocatello, Highland, and Century High Schools. But now they're kind of splitting off. And
they're playing a game or 2 there each.
Yeah, it's towards the end of the season, I believe.
But I think this might be the last year that they play their at least regular season. A nice kick here from Hershey.
Puts it out of the end zone as we're starting to get just a little bit of breeze now, nothing bad. And CJ pointed out to me, no clouds yet, except for I can just see just a little hint of some up there on the hill. I don't know.
Maybe a fire.
That might be a fire. That's
Smoke.
pretty dark.
Yeah.
And that's if that's a cloud, that's a rain cloud all by itself out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, a beautiful day today. It's really cleared up and see the horizon. Nice
yesterday was beautiful. It was a nice day, but windy, and that affected some of the, at least the teams who were trying to throw or kick south.
Yeah, in the wind yesterday. Back to pass. Jackson, a little crossing route. Ooh, boy. Almost picked off, almost caught, and on the run would have been Jace Turner.
Well, but Sabaunma, the junior, hope I'm saying that correct, Jackson Sabaunma. And just had a great job. But I'll tell you, the risk is on that because Highland has been, they must have, a lot of, faith in their other players being able to come up and make some tackles because they are jumping those routes. And again, if that's completed, that's 6 points.
2:03 on the clock. Little wheel route to Turner, but he just gets to the line of scrimmage and then is tackled immediately. Gained a yard, it looks like. So 3rd and 9. Clock stopped because of a timeout taken by Alta.
Yeah, and Colton George, no jumping the route that time. He just went out and made the tackle right after the catch. Kept it to just a simple 1-yard gain.
Real quickly, again, we want to thank our local sponsors, Satterfield Realty and Development. Billy and Steve Satterfield and Remax Country Real Estate are proud supporters of the Highland Rams. As lifelong residents of the Highland area and alumni of the high school, Billy and Steve have long been committed to supporting the Rams and enjoying helping families buy and sell real estate in the area. With 70 years of real estate experience in Pocatello, no duo brings more skill or commitment when representing you. Go Rams. And Lava Hot Springs is your destination for a relaxing day away from it all. Just 10 minutes from McCammon and I-15. They're open daily from 9 a.m. to 10 p.m., and that's 11 p.m. on Friday and Saturday. They're happily welcoming visitors to sit and enjoy their world-famous hot pools. The all-natural geothermal hot springs are always a warm 102 to 112 degrees. Their indoor aquatic center will open for the fall season beginning October 1st, Friday through Sunday, and offer kiddie splash time on Tuesday and Wednesday morning.
You're all over that.
Oh, I love kiddie splash time. Lava Hot Springs taking extra precautions to ensure your safety and ask the patrons to be respectful of others. Check out lavahot.springs.com. On the run, and did he throw before he crossed the line of scrimmage?
Yeah, he did, but it would have been, it was intended for Christian Thomas, and Thomas, again, if the pass would have been on, he had separation and probably had another 5 or 6 yards before the safety was going to be able to come back up and get him. But, we got a little bend don't break right now going on from Highland, so they are usually going to be open a little bit in the middle of the field. They just don't want to give up the big play.
Yeah, with only a minute 50 left here and 2 scores needed from Alta, you don't want to give up something big and quick. So it'll be 4th and 9. They'll go for it from their own 21. Down the side, incomplete, no good.
Yeah, I thought for a second that the side judge was pulling for his flag, but he was putting his hand out under so he could do a safe at home.
Yeah, that's right.
Out of bounds. No good on the pass.
So a turnover on downs.
And I would think with no timeouts left for Alta, we're just going to get a nil down. And another victory for Idaho. Takes the Rocky Mountain Rumble from 4-1 in favor of Utah to 4-2 in favor of Utah with another game to come.
This was a really evenly played game. Of course, Alta couldn't score when they needed to, and they had multiple opportunities.
Yep. Really the difference, I think, was the execution of the quarterbacks, the ability to hit the people that needed to be hit. I mean, Whitmer was, I felt, a much better of the 2 quarterbacks today. As he hit his targets consistently. I think the running games were fairly, kind of X'd each other out just a little bit, but the passing game was in a whole different atmosphere for Highland than it was for Alta today.
So did they snap? They did snap once, so it's 2nd down and 11 here with the victory formation. Clock running down to 1:15. They'll get back up to the line of scrimmage and take another knee here, and they might have to do it one more time.
And of course, they are just replacing the ball just because he's coming back a couple yards each time to
respotting it. That happens with just under a minute, so they'll have to go once more with just that 40-second game clock, play clock.
Coming from a true basketball
official.
In a state that doesn't even have the shot clock.
Yeah, exactly. 44 seconds. They'll line up once more, take a knee, and that'll be the ball game.
8 states have the shot clock as of last year, and it looks like 2 more are going to come on this year.
Who are the 2 new ones?
I believe the 2 new ones are Arizona and New Mexico. I could be wrong on that, but that's what I had in my mind. I was reading it earlier. Not today.
There's the knee, and that'll do it. The Highland Rams win this one 26-13. And as you mentioned, it's now 4-2. The Utah team's on top of Idaho. We're going to step away for a little break. We're going to come back with our IdahoSports.com player of the game. We'll be right back here with the 2021 Rocky Mountain Rumble. Welcome back here, the Rocky Mountain Rumble, as this one's gone final. The Highland Rams out of Pocatello defeat Alta High School, the Alta Hawks, by a score of 26-13, and a really well-played game by both of them. A couple turnovers and a big stop down at the goal line earlier in the game really kind of changed the complexion of this and allowed Highland to come out of here with a 26-13 win. Now it's time to announce and hand out our IdahoSports.com player of the game, And this man was just in charge throughout for the Highland Rams. Very accurate, didn't turn the ball over. So congratulations to you, number 14, Jack Whitmer, the starting quarterback for the Highland Rams. You're our IdahoSports.com player of the game.
He just did a fantastic job today. And just kind of a little interesting side note, 13 has been an unlucky number for Alta. They lost to Westlake, both their losses this year, to Westlake 27-13 and to Highland 26-13. And I'm not a guy that's superstitious. In fact, my only superstition is that I'm not superstitious, And but anyway, just kind of an interesting side note.
Interesting. And this is a little bit of a redemption game for Jack Whitmer. Last year he started this game in a Rocky Mountain Rumble. The first game of the season was pulled at halftime, and Highland just got obliterated in that game.
Yeah.
And he comes back out here and takes care of business. He's definitely improved and matured. It was ready and up for the challenge today, and he showed it. So congratulations, Jack Whitmer, our IdahoSports.com player of the game. Well, this has been an IdahoSports.com game stream production of East Idaho Game Night, presented by Teton Auto Group. Our major sponsors that make coverage on IdahoSports.com possible include your local Toyota dealer, Toyota Let's Go Places, Valley-wide Co-op and Country Stores, and Project Filter, Idaho Fights Tobacco. We'd also like to thank our local advertisers for tonight's game, Satterfield Realty and Development, Lava Hot Springs. A huge thanks to each of them, and congratulations once again to Jack Whitmer, our IdahoSports.com player of the game. And thanks for joining us here on IdahoSports.com as the Highland Rams defeat the Alta Hawks by a score of 26-13. For my broadcast partner, Lance Taylor, and for Josh McGauley and CJ Parkinson and everyone behind the scenes at IdahoSports.com, I'm Lauren Jensen saying have a great night. And if you want to watch some more good football, stick around. We got one more coming up here at Madison High School. The Bobcats of Madison taking on Bear River, Utah. So stick around and have a great night.
This has been a presentation of IdahoSports.com Game Streams. This broadcast is copyrighted to IdahoSports.com. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or other use of this broadcast without the express